My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Hit subscribe right now to this channel. Michael Cohen is going to be investigated for perjury, or at least, Rudy Giuliani, Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows want the DOJ to investigate Michael Cohen for perjury. I will explain that in a second. By the way, Michael Cohen debunks the entire Trump-Russia myth. First of all, Trump never told him to lie. He stated that he has no evidence. He was never in Prague. He has no evidence of any major Mueller Steele dossier claim, especially that he was never in Prague, which is like one of the biggest. The basis for the Steele dossier is that Michael Cohen met with Russian intelligence to work with Manafort and Carter Page. The Steele dossier has been completely shredded apart. And before we get to all of that, ladies and gentlemen, you must do me a favor. My latest article in the Federalist, I want everyone, please, throughout Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I'm protesting social media. But everyone on Twitter, Facebook, Minds, wherever you're at, Instagram, whatever. Why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump in 2020. It's right here in the Federalist. Why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump 2020 by H.A. Goodman. Share it everywhere. It was just published today. I give every single reason. And then this is hilarious. I saw one person like, no, the steel industry is not surging. Yes, it is. Here, steel is surging under Trump. This is the Washington Post, okay? Just do like a second of research. We have a great president. If you're relishing the fact that the peace talks ended between North Korea and Trump, well, there's going to be yet another round of peace negotiations next year, very likely, probably sooner. If you root for the country not to advance or achieve peace, then that says something about you as a human being. President Trump is bringing home Americans, around 10,000, from two counterinsurgency conflicts. One of the main reasons for Bernie Sanders voters to vote for Trump. You think Bernie would have done that as president? He's already getting cheated, and he's raising $10 million. The guy's a millennial, the DNC millennial fundraiser. He's raising $10 million already, and he's already getting cheated. They're pretending they're like biology professors at the CNN town hall. Okay? So it's like absurd. See, they're doing the same things to cheat Bernie Sanders again, the same hit pieces at Slate and everywhere else, and people are still giving him money. They're giving him even more money than ever, and he's going to funnel that back into Clinton 2020 when she runs. But I explain in my article why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump 2020 in the Federalist today. Very, very proud. Love the Federalist. It's a fantastic publication. It's one of the great, if not the best, political publication today. But bringing home Americans, signed prison reform, criminal justice reform, First Step Act. Oh my God, he's an orange racist monster. No, he's not. No, he's not. That's a fabricated, if the standard by which you judge Trump is anything he said, then never even vote for Clinton, and she is far more insidious and racist, all that stuff. But anyway, check it out. I explain. Peace between North and South Korea. We're getting there. He got a lot closer than anyone else. No one ever imagined meeting with Kim Jong-un. Okay? An economy with more jobs than people to fill the jobs. So please, 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 everybody, check that out. Why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump 2020. And from reviving the steel industry to witnessing landmark foreign policy achievements, Trump embodies many of Sanders' ideals. Just read the article. It's below. Share it everywhere. Get it viral. It's very, very important. I'll explain more a little later, basically every segment. But Michael Cohen committed perjury. You can't start off wanting to sue BuzzFeed, and then because they were spreading, well, essentially a lie about you. So Michael Cohen was defending Trump. He lied throughout the testimony. Oh, well, Trump said this, Trump said that. There's no evidence of anything. It's just conjecture, hearsay, gossip. And we'll get to the Hill article right here. Jordan Meadows asked DOJ to investigate Michael Cohen for perjury. This is Rudy Giuliani. Incredibly, as a result of Cohen's pathological lying, Cohen perjured his way into possibly yet another DOJ investigation. He came there to lie his way into a reduction of sentence and left looking at another sentence. So this is hilarious. You sell your soul to the Democratic Party, you actually get more jail time. But Jordan Meadows asked DOJ to investigate Michael Cohen for perjury. Two of the president's top Republican allies on Capitol Hill are asking the Justice Department to investigate Michael Cohen for perjury, accusing the one-time Trump attorney of apparently making intentionally false statements during testimony before the House Oversight and Reform Committee. By the way, Clinton made intentionally false statements during the Benghazi hearings. Intentionally false. She said, well, she only had one server. That's intentionally false. She gave all the information that she had to the State Department. That's intentionally false. She never sent or received anything marked classified. That's intentionally false. While testifying under oath, Mr. Cohen made what appears to be numerous willfully and intentionally false statements of material fact contradicted by the record established by the Justice Department. In United States v. Cohen, Representative Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows wrote in a letter to Attorney General William Barr on Thursday. There are other instances in which Mr. Cohen's statements to the committee were immediately contradicted by witness with first-hand knowledge of the subject. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going down. And Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows are two of the more intelligent Republicans. They're not, the weak, pathetic establishment Republicans who are almost as vile as the weak, pathetic McCarthy-era Democrats who blame Russia because they cheated Bernie Sanders, who eventually became a DNC tool. Okay, I don't even want to get into it. They're saying, look, you know where I stand. My Federalist article is where I stand. Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump. Okay, President Trump 2020. But they're already saying, oh, yeah, Bernie supporters. Oh, look at the Bernie. If you're watching this right now, you're saying, oh, my God, H.A. Goodman. Look what they're doing already. People on the left, the same people who are calling Bernie racist, they're going to vote for Clinton 2020, which is hilarious, which says everything you need to know about the Democratic Party. But let's look at Mark Meadows on Twitter. Nice. Criminal referral for... I just entered a referral for criminal investigation of Michael Cohen, who violated the Foreign Agents Registration Act by illegally lobbying on behalf of entities without registering. So that was in addition to what's taking place now. Congress of the United States, the Honorable William Barr, dear Mr. Attorney General, you write to refer significant evidence that Michael D. Cohen committed perjury and knowingly made false statements during his testimony before an Oversight and Reform Committee. While testifying under oath, Mr. Cohen made what appears to be numerous willfully and intentionally false statements of material fact contradicted by the record established by the Justice Department in the United States v. Cohen. Mr. Cohen's testimony before the committee at times was in direct contradiction. So, and he goes, okay, under U.S. Code 1621, a witness. So the points below support an investigation. Several times during his testimony, Mr. Cohen denied committing various fraudulent acts that he pleaded guilty to in federal court. Specifically, Mr. Cohen said, I never defrauded any bank. That's that's exactly why he's going to jail. These denials are intentionally false. Mr. Cohen pleaded guilty to 5 counts of income tax evasion, 1 count of making false statement to a bank institution, 1 count of causing an unlawful corporate contribution, 1 count of excessive campaign contribution, 1 count of making false statements to Congress. In Mr. Cohen's plea agreement with the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, prosecutors specifically referred to Mr. Cohen's crimes of making false statements to financial institutions as bank fraud. Mr. Cohen repeatedly testified that he did not seek employment in the White House. This is demonstrably, materially, and intentionally false. He committed perjury. He wanted to work. So, and court filings in the United States, which state during and after the campaign, Cohen privately told friends and colleagues, including in seized text messages, that he expected to be given a prominent role and title in the new administration. When that did not materialize, Cohen found a way to monetize his relationship with and access to the president. When confronted at the hearing with the SDNY statement, Mr. Cohen testified that the above statement made by the U.S. attorneys was not accurate. So then it goes on. Let's see. He made other statements. So there's evidence that he did want a role in Trump's White House, that he was expecting a role in Trump's White House. And it goes on. Mr. Cohen testified he did not direct to the commission of the Twitter account at Women for Cohen. Specifically, Mr. Cohen testified, I didn't actually set that up. Mr. Cohen's statement in this respect may also be false. Well, Mr. Cohen stated in his signed truth and testimony form submitted that he did not have any reportable contacts with foreign government entities. We believe this to be false. Okay, Mr. Cohen's verbal testimony contradicted various aspects of his written statement submitted in advance of his appeal. So, and he goes on to, so there's a whole bunch here. Mainly, the biggest one is like, oh, well, I didn't commit any bank fraud. That is obvious. He's going to jail for bank fraud. That's why he's not going to jail for Trump-Russia collusion. Because there wasn't any. Because that's a myth and a hoax. That's another reason, if you're a Bernie supporter, to vote for Trump. Don't just not vote for Trump. Do you want Americans being brought home from never-ending counterinsurgency wars? Yeah. Well, then vote for Trump. Do you want prison reform legislation? Well, he just signed that. So how on earth can he be racist? There's a record low black and Latino unemployment. And I can go on forever. President Trump's foreign policy. This was a victory for Trump. They're trying to paint it as a collapse of negotiations. Did Obama or Clinton, would Clinton have gotten even close? She wanted to ring China with missile defense. That's what she stated to bankers. The problem with Democrats is when their emails expose who they are, they blame Russia. It's like the McCarthy era with them. It's so absurd. There's zero evidence. The only evidence is, well, the intelligence community thinks so. Quote unquote community. You have 5 or 6 people who started this myth with the Steele dossier that was purchased by Hillary Clinton, and CrowdStrike, a third-party tech firm that was outsourced by Clinton and Democrats. Do you understand? All of this is because of a tech firm that they paid to foment a ridiculous myth. The United States government never looked at DNC servers. So when Daily Beast and BuzzFeed and Gizmodo and all of them say, oh my God, Trump doesn't need to look at the FBI didn't need to look at the servers. No, the FBI did. They are relying on copies and images from CrowdStrike, who just happens to work for the DNC. So it's basically like getting the DNC tech people. Actually, it is. The DNC tech people to just give copies. It's like the equivalent of a bank robber saying, well, my defense attorney will give you copies of the fingerprints. You have nothing to worry about. There's no conflict of interest there. And then you get this absurd, well, it's highly respected. By whom? Highly respected? Who cares? By who? Highly respected? Is it highly respected tech firm? Yeah, Democrats respect it. And the rest of humanity is like, that's an insane conflict of interest. So you have Michael Cohen committing perjury. You have Trump in a landmark look. The peace talks, and they were peace talks with Kim Jong-un. If you are celebrating the fact that it ended prematurely, you're just a hater. And you don't realize that Obama didn't even come close. Obama, by the way, destroyed Libya with a failed NATO intervention. Trump is presiding over the beginning of peace. Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un at the DMZ were hugging each other and embracing and shaking hands. This is amazing paradigm-changing news. But you're a hater. If you think that, well, not you, if you're watching this, you most likely agree with me, but Democrats are haters. If there happens to be a Democrat who watches this, or a Clinton supporter or whatever, or just anyone who just who doesn't like Trump's personality but doesn't have enough a healthy enough psychological or emotional state to actually look at what this president is doing and say, hey, you know what, some things he's doing are really good. Obama never got close to this, and he won a Nobel Peace Prize. So Trump already should have won a Nobel Peace Prize. If this was a Democrat, oh my God, the insane groupthink, the manic groupthink. Could you imagine if Madam Secretary, if it was President Hillary Clinton, and she presided over negotiations that didn't work out, and Republicans were cheering? Could you imagine? Oh my God. Oh my. And by the way, this happened with Reagan and Gorbachev. I mean, these things take place, and this is actually one step forward. Trump wants to make sure that Kim Jong-un abides by. He doesn't want to give everything automatically. That's the thing. But they were close, and they were talking. And hopefully, the next time they meet, there will be an official end to the Korean War, that is definitely Nobel Prize winning. That would warrant, beyond anything else, a Nobel Prize for Trump, and especially Moon Jae-in. But, ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe right now. Michael Cohen obviously committed perjury. Well, they're going to. I mean, what he did yesterday was a sad, pathetic attempt at ingratiating himself and trying to just, in any way possible, apologize for his years and years of support of Trump and working with Trump. And what he did is create more legal issues, greater problems for himself. And that's what happens. The basis of politics on the left, the basis is a corrupt basis. They're not after truth, which is why they cheated Bernie and then pushed Trump Russia, and then now say that peace talks are a waste. The basis is pure. They want to attain power. That's all they want. Political influence. That's all they want. Trump is not really like that. He already has it. He wants peace between North and South Korea. It's bringing home Americans from two. And they're like, oh, well, he hasn't brought home Americans yet. Well, he will. If it's not, if establishment Democrats actually, one would think that liberals want to bring home American soldiers, but that's not the case right now with Max Boot and basically Clinton's foreign policy. But you'd think prison reform legislation, criminal justice reform, even Van Jones called it a Christmas miracle. You'd think that's a good thing, but no, not anymore. Not anymore. To today's liberals, it's a bad thing, I guess. My Federalist article below. Share it everywhere right now. It's very, very important. Even if you don't like Bernie, if you love Bernie, it doesn't matter. If you think I'm crazy, you don't think I'm crazy. It really doesn't matter. Just share it everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Share my Federalist article everywhere. Thank you.